So, picture this. A huge religious gathering is planned in Manila. Sounds peaceful, right? But the city is on edge. We're talking thousands of police deployed, schools getting shut down. What's being called a prayer rally is being treated like it's the start of a rebellion. This is a story about a political dynasty, a seriously powerful church, and a whole nation kind of holding its breath.
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? You've got an event that's supposed to be all about faith and transparency, but it's being met with a security response you'd expect for, a massive threat to the state. So what do the authorities know that the rest of us don't?
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 10,000. That's not just a better safe than sorry kind of thing. It's a massive signal that they think things could get seriously unstable. This one number tells you everything you need to know about the tension in the air.
And it goes way beyond just the police. We're talking schools shutting their doors, the city's entire emergency system on standby, and even fire trucks being prepped, not for fires, but for crowd control. This is a city that is absolutely bracing for impact.
Okay, so to really get why a prayer rally is setting off all these alarm bells, we need to look at who's involved. We need to look at the key figures and the rumors that are flying around them. Because this isn't just about one event. It's about a really complicated power struggle with a very specific cast of characters.
You know, what's so wild about politics in the Philippines is how seriously people take rumors. I mean, in a place with a history of people power uprisings, a juicy rumor isn't just gossip. It can literally be the spark that lights the whole fuse. So when a well-known journalist, Ramon Tulfo, published this insider list of alleged coup plotters, people didn't just dismiss it. They treated it like a serious intelligence leak.
And Tulfo, he backed up his list with this incredibly raw and incredibly defiant challenge. It translates to a very crude dare. By basically staking his own manhood on his info, he forced everyone to stop treating it like a rumor and start treating it like a real threat. It was such a classic Manila political power move, a way to say, "I'm not kidding," and force the conversation out into the open.
So who was on this list? Well, it reads like a greatest hits album of the last administration. You've got the kids of the former president, Vice President Sara Duterte and Congressman Paulo Duterte. You've got former governors, a whole network of retired generals and political insiders. The one thing they all have in common? A deep, deep connection to the Duterte dynasty.
Let's just zoom in on the vice president's movements on a single day, October 16th. First up, you get this really soft-focus photo op at a bakery, giving off this maternal unifying vibe. Then, just a few hours later, a courtesy call to the central office of the Iglesia Ni Cristo, or the INC. Now, the INC is this incredibly powerful church. They're famous for their political sway and their ability to command millions of votes in a single block. So when a top politician pays them a visit just a few weeks after they were named in an alleged coup plot, well, courtesy starts to look a whole lot like coordination.
And this brings us to the core of the matter, that alleged coup plot from September. This is really the key to understanding everything else. We're moving now from public appearances and rumors to a direct, secret proposal that could have flipped the entire country on its head.
Okay, so according to our source, there's one secret meeting that sits at the very heart of this whole thing. It's the one event that changes the context for the high alert, for the political visits, and for this massive rally that's about to happen.
So, here's the alleged pitch. Representatives from the Inc. supposedly went to a senior army commander with a simple three-step plan. Step 1. The army pulls its support for the sitting president. Step 2. In exchange, the church gets 500,000 of its followers to march on the presidential palace. And the endgame, Step 3, installs Sara Duterte as the new president. It was a power grab, plain and simple, just dressed up as some kind of spiritual uprising.
The plan was audacious, for sure, but it hit a brick wall right at the start. The army commander refused, just said no. And that one simple act, that refusal, might have been the only thing that stopped a full-blown constitutional crisis from exploding right then and there.
But here's the really chilling takeaway from our source material. A failed coup attempt isn't always the end of the story. It can be seen as a practice run, right? A way to test who's loyal, to poke around for weak spots in the government. And in a country with a fragile political balance, that kind of rehearsal is a massive threat to stability.
Now, none of this political chess makes any sense unless you understand the powerful, emotional reason that's driving it all. And to find that, we have to look at the patriarch of the Duterte family himself.
The key, the emotional engine behind all of this, is the potential fate of former President Rodrigo Duterte. This fear that he could be detained and put on trial by the International Criminal Court in The Hague,
Well, his children have turned that from a legal threat into a deeply personal and very political crusade. And this quote just says it all. Listen to the language that Congressman Paulo Duterte is using. He doesn't say authorities or prosecutors. He says kidnappers. And that promise, I will make sure you pay, that's not the language of a legal defense. That's the language of a vendetta. It's turning a lawful process into a personal attack on their family.
So the strategy here becomes crystal clear. You frame this whole legal process as a kidnapping, and in doing so, you merge your family's personal grief with a bigger political rebellion. It gives you a moral reason for your actions, and it gives your supporters this powerful emotional banner to rally behind. We have to get justice for our leader.
And that brings us right back to the rally. Now that we have all this context, the alleged coup plot, the political moves, the family's mission for revenge, we can see this event in a completely different light. It's where all these forces are coming together.
When you actually lay it all out on a timeline like this, the pattern is pretty stark. You have the secret proposal to the military in September, then in early October, the public vow of revenge. Mid-October, the strategic courtesy call. And now in November, the massive rally. I mean, each step seems to build on the last one, escalating towards this one big moment.
Our source offers this really powerful definition for what's happening. It's not a traditional military takeover. This is a modern palace coup. It's one where the battlefield is public opinion, the weapons are faith and grievance, and the soldiers, well, they're devout followers who might not even realize the full extent of the political game they're a part of.
Which brings us right back to where we started. The 10,000 police, the closed schools, the fire trucks. Now it all makes sense. The state isn't just getting ready for a peaceful protest. It's preparing for the very real possibility that this pilgrimage is a cover for something else entirely. It is rehearsing for war in the name of keeping the peace.
And so, this is the final thought we're left with. As thousands of people gather, the real question isn't about what the crowd does on the day. It's about the intentions of the powerful people who brought them there. Is the goal really peace and transparency, or is there something far more ambitious going on here?